And
it only lifts 6.5 feet, but like if you're unloading semis, it's great. Or if you're, like I said, 2,000,
Don't worry.
40 gallons
We'll
per
get it.
minute
Look at
hydraulic,
it, ask her.
Oh, it's not for right
I'd
now.
probably have
Right?
the number.
40 gallons per minute. There's nothing it can't run.
Okay, it's.
Good. Oh, meeting to order.
Please rise for the pledge of prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the prayer. O Lord God, we come before thee in prayer acknowledging the blessing of government administration. Thou art a God of order and hast blessed us with the establishment of governing officials to provide civil harmony and concord. Be with us in this meeting and give us strength and wisdom to pursue goals which please thee. Grant us the courage to support those things which are right and according to thy ordinances. For we ask in God's name. Amen.
Okay, roll call.
Leany,
Oh,
Here.
Heidemann. Here. Dargan.
Yes.
Staley.
Here.
here. Approval of the agenda, or the any additions or deletions?
One, right?
Well, I guess one, and I gotta ask a question. One is the Omega
Yep.
quote that I'd sent you. Two was the letters from the Grand Lake. that
On
you
the
have right
renaming
there.
of the islands?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, I mean.
we
it's
should put it
simple
on
enough.
there.
I didn't
Okay.
see one.
Ladder. Resolution.
It got sent out today,
Yeah, I just got it.
late breaking news. Want
You
to
have
get,
a copy or something?
it should be in your email.
Well,
I
yeah.
did.
I didn't check.
That one, no.
Three of them-
Bring
three
it
of them come
down.
up.
Let's put it on the agenda and then we can read it.
Yes,
Yep.
I'll bring it up.
So I'll make a motion to accept the agenda with the two additions.
Support.
And those were under new business.
Yes.
Okay,
They're both under new business?
Yep.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Conflict disclosures, anyone have a conflict with anything on the agenda today? Hearing none, we'll go on to the minutes of September 27th, 2024.
So moved to accept as presented.
Support.
Motion and support to approve the minutes as presented. I had one question, is, the representative of Hauler, tax sanitation, is that Bruce or Bruce?
Oh,
Bruce.
This is the typo.
Yeah,
Bruce look here.
Yeah, look here. Yeah, look here. Yeah.
The coup.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
Bruce.
Yeah. I thought so, but. So any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Claims audit.
We met Tuesday and went over the claims. Nothing really out of the ordinary in the claims if you go over them. It's $130 some thousand for the month. We had last month, we went out claims, but we didn't have anything from Emmett County, so we got the two this week or this month. The total for the recycling for the month of August,
what page you on, Mike?
I am on page 6.
92.
Yep.
66.
So, and then we're on the second one from the top.
Gotcha.
Okay, it was the actual bill for that month was $15,796, which we got money back of $10,356.25. And then in September, we had $10,124, and we received back $6,296.90. So that's almost $18,000 we got back just in our fibrous material out of the 25,000. So
Starting to
that,
pay for some of
That
that.
helps.
yes, it sure does it.
Huh.
Well, they just deducted off the bill, but
Did
they're
they
paying us,
increase-
I think it must be like $125 a ton now.
They must have increased it, eh?
Well, it got increased here a few months ago, but it's, I think this month,
Just the
it got,
tonnage.
yeah, and
No,
I didn't call Andy to
Emmett
make
didn't change the
sure.
Prices.
No, it's still 100 then.
Emmett-
$100 a
Yeah, you
ton.
guys, when you renewed that contract just not too long ago, there was no change to the prices.
Mhm.
Right, but when they get their extra monies, they always kick us back a little bit more too, though. So I don't know.
It's
if that-
based on a.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's one
So
price, no matter what, paper, plastic.
Yep, no, this is just the cardboard and fibers.
Just
That's it. Nothing what to do with the plastics, metals or nothing,
Anything.
or glass.
They don't even pay.
They don't pay, no, they don't give us anything for that.
Well, they don't get anything either.
They don't get much for glass at all.
Right.
They're storing glass for the last 3 years.
You would think the metal they would.
Well, we don't give them.
We don't give a whole lot of metal. Joe.
Mike,
Only-
while we're on that page, I
Okay.
just want to make the comment, because I looked at the billings, right underneath the Emmett County thing from the attorneys regarding the lake levels. I just wanted to point out, especially John, that they're just, those are very small bills.
Right.
Yep,
They're just kind of taking many steps toward this. So they're not overcharging while they put this together. And I
well,
think-
they're just giving us the bill as they get them, and we had no concern on that,
Okay.
claims anyway.
Yeah.
No, that was
That's for,
Lake, East
Lake
Hall,
Esau.
yeah. Or Grand Lake and
That'll,
East Hall,
that'll
both.
probably be
Well,
paid with the
again,
special.
they delayed the public hearing
I
till
would-
January because they didn't want to get in the middle of hunting season or
Yep.
elections or
The special
holiday.
assessment will reimburse that.
And then you'll see where, James Gilbert finally put his,
Sent you a bill.
yeah, he sent us a bill, yeah, for,
Well, 4 months worth.
4 months worth, yeah, May, June, July and August.
Yeah.
He was kind of relaxed on getting his bills out, so, it's not that we didn't owe it to him or whatever, but it
You
just
just
goes up.
filed
Now
late.
it's 17,000,
Mhm.
where if you'd have just filed it per month, it wouldn't be so, noticeable.
Yeah,
So it-
One addition. That's what I ran
Yeah,
upstairs to
okay.
get. When I was digging up my desk today, I found one that was waiting for a number to be coded. It's $49.80 to the advance for
Oh, okay.
the ads that we had placed for materials management.
Okay, oh, okay.
Florida didn't know where to code it from. And so I put it on my desk,
49.80.
Yeah,
$49.80, yep.
What's
But I
that
wanna
bring
get
the
it done.
total to?
Right.
So add that.
so it'll be 130, I'll make a motion that we settle the claims for 130,801.31.
support.
Is that right?
You're
What I
the
heard,
number.
Is that what you got?
yeah,
All right,
they have motion support to pay the claims in the amount of $130,801.31. Any more discussion? If not,
Item,
Yes,
Sarda.
yes,
Bailey.
Yes.
Papa.
yeah,
Wait.
Yes.
motion carried. Citizens appearing before the board. You're
no,
the only one here, you have to say something.
just say hi or something.
It's just nice to see you all.
Okay,
Thank you. On to new business, terminate the agreement with MGT. the
Yeah, so we talked about that at-
dashboard.
claims doing,
So in the
During finance.
past, we had to have, if you look on our old, website, a dashboard and all this stuff created. It's basically a lot of statistical information. Household economic levels, how many, of this population, how many of that, things we spend money on, the parks, it's just taking all our budget stuff and putting it in a pretty graph, basically. But that, we needed that in order to get our revenue sharing from the
Yes.
state. The state has said we no longer have to, it's no longer a requirement. So MGT has graciously allowed and asked if we wanted to
Get out of the.
Opt
contract.
get out of the contract without penalty.
How much? was
Yeah.
that?
It's like-
$4,800 plus a year?
yeah,
Yes.
for almost 5,000 a year,
Yeah,
Huh.
so,
Yeah,
yes.
State changed their rules. eh?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, well,
That,
finally,
that,
relax a
that
little
one
bit.
thing is not required, I mean, we give, audits and reports all the time, and I just never
And
understood.
this interacted with that anyway, so that's probably why they said, well, everybody's doing their
Yeah.
audits and stuff, so,
and a lot of that background information is in our county plan,
correct.
Let me
Yep, I guess
make
it
a
would be, yeah.
motion to terminate the agreement,
Support.
contract with MGT.
Or,
It's gonna be specific for the citizen guidance
Citizens dashboard.
because we have multiple
Yeah.
contracts, so I just wanna make that clear to everybody. It is
Citizens dashboard in the motion then.
Well, I'm glad they brought that to everybody's attention.
right.
Yeah,
Very good of them. They're great to work with, so.
okay, we have a motion and support to terminate the agreement
Yes,
with
Ken.
MDC for the citizens guide dashboard. Any more discussion?
yes, I agree.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yep,
We need a motion?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm gonna take it.
yes.
Darga, yes, Saley.
Yes.
Chapa,
Yeah,
Felini,
Yes.
Heidemann.
Yes,
motion carried. Number 2 is Omega.
Yeah, and I think we had that in our email.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there was a question, I think, about local.
And I don't have that answer.
But, and he wasn't here when we got done with finance that day, so I was gonna ask him the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
question. Because it's the same thing with the lighting here.
It's,
And I'll find that answer for you, Cliff, because usually if he'll touch all the electricians or plumbers or whatever when we do.
Right, he
his-
said he
and
reached
if-
out
and
to
if-
Hartford.
Right, and if they don't respond back, then he just does what he has to do because he has to get this stuff done, so.
Well, I'm surprised you even get
yeah, he did.
one person to call you back.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I quit my snow plowing this past year, so I'm trying to find people to take my spots. People are gonna be shoveling because nobody wants to do it, and if the ones that want to do it, well, I got enough. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'll make the motion that we go with the Omega for the 5335 for the sign, like this sign.
I would support that.
Well, it's actually,
lighting,
exterior lighting.
Exterior lighting, yes, I
Yeah,
take that back,
sign,
yes.
it's a sign company.
Support,
That's the only.
Cliff did.
No, but,
we're discussing.
Yep.
Okay with you?
So we have a motion and support.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So Darga and stuff.
Is there any more discussion?
I think he just wants to get it done before the weather gets.
And that's just, yes,
that's why you wanted to bring it up on the agenda, right? That's
Right.
why,
Yes.
just because of the question of
Seasons.
who, oh,
yes.
that, because I talked to Mike about it and I mean, got it, just absolutely should be done.
Yes.
Any other discussion? If not? We'll call on
Yep.
that.
Saley,
Yes.
Chapa,
Yes.
Felini,
Yes.
Heidemann.
Yes,
Darga.
Yes.
Okay, number 3, I think you were on.
Yeah.
I did catch it. Number 3 is Grand Lake Islands.
And I printed it all off and I was supposed to put mine in.
So it's got a traffic.
I can read it if you want.
I pulled it up there.
Okay,
You should have named it Alcatraz.
So they had, if you didn't see the email, the Grand Lake Association did have a contest earlier asking,
Unknown
actually,
islands.
for a currently unnamed island.
One island?
Yeah.
two.
Oh. Two names that they
Two
will
islands.
present. Oh,
It's
it's
two islands.
two previously unnamed islands, and they will present two names to the U.S. Board of Geographic Names for approval.
And yeah, South End.
One was Eagle, wasn't
So they're not named, so how would you know?
Well, I'm sure
it?
there's.
Well, they
local
suggested
names.
2 names.
Pardon?
They
There's
suggested. 2
probably
names.
local names, but they had a contest. So they had a lot of buy-in from the
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
and the two names were Little Loon and what was the other one?
Yeah.
Eagles,
Eagle,
Eagle Pair. Oh, wait a minute.
Eagle Island and Little Loon Island.
Eagle.
Mhm.
Eagle Island and yeah, correct.
Hmm.
So what they're looking
So-
for is a letter of support, basically, that the county board endorses.
Good Lord,
There.
take what they gave us and put a letter together and John signed it.
They did. They provided a template.
Township
Well,
must have
yeah,
gave
but
them
tell
one
it is
too,
the
right?
letter, you might wanna.
Right, no, I just,
I'm surprised they
We'll
didn't
take it
make.
to our own.
have a
Okay.
resolution.
All right,
oh,
so it doesn't sound,
That's
Too
probably
fake.
been named.
but I hate it when
Years ago.
all the organizations come in with exactly the same letter, it just.
well, at least they provide the details within their letter for me to
Yes,
go
it
off.
does,
That's
yeah.
the beneficial part
Yes.
I need.
Yes. All right, I'd make that motion.
Sport,
Motion support to send a letter of endorsement for the Grand Lake Island naming. Little Loon and Eagle.
yes.
Eagle Island.
Eagle Island and Little Loon Island.
Oh, why it's so hard to say.
I think Eagle Island's the larger one.
How big are the islands?
Uh,
I would say the bigger one is probably about 5 acres, wouldn't you say?
I don't know, are they on the south end of the lake?
The big one is right in the middle. It's not.
Okay, it's
south.
by Grand Island and something.
And they were never named all this time?
Huh,
I'm sure locals probably had names.
Yeah, but
But
well,
nothing on the
There's-
geographical map.
There's more than
nothing
two.
official. You know, it has to be.
oh, there's probably more.
There's like 12.
Yeah, because they all range from 1.5 miles long to 35 foot long.
12 islands.
Yeah.
I'll be done.
Yep.
Okay, well, if there's no other discussion, let's. All in favor,
I,
opposed, motion carried. We're on committee report.
we already reported on finance, so everything we talked about. Although we did talk about, we talked about a computer or a printer.
Oh, the printer that you approved, that was
Yes.
sort of
Or,
small potatoes
yeah,
for
Okay.
the new juvenile probation
Yes.
office.
Yeah, we approved for the printer for the juvenile officer. The new. So that's all we had.
Well, Mike, on personnel, have we actually set the date for mediation? or we
What,
set-
28th, she said.
Okay, is that confirmed?
Yeah, but
haven't
we
time yet?
don't have a time yet.
I'm
No,
just waiting on that to come second.
Okay,
Is that with the sheriff's department?
yep,
Yeah.
both
Dispatch.
And the-
dispatch and corrections plus the deputies.
you've been horsing around a long time on that.
This is probably just a deputies though. isn't it?
No, it's both.
Okay. Glad to get that over with. Then we'll probably set the committee meeting for the 22nd, correct? Where our next meeting will be the 25th.
Correct.
But I will not maybe be here because my son's moving to South Carolina. And I'm leaving on the 17th to help him move. So I'm gonna be gone and I'm hoping to be back the 24th. So,
Your backup, right?
yes, Cliff could be my backup for
Is
for
the
the
courthouse and grounds?
committees, courthouse and grounds, airport.
Oh,
So you can do that. It's on the 22nd at
I
8:30.
think I'm the
Oh.
person.
Are you?
Oh, you-
Okay,
You might be.
I'll go back and check.
Are you talking finance or ground?
No,
No,
ground.
courthouse and grounds.
No, I think I'm third person.
Okay,
You got the book right there.
yeah, but that's the previous year and it can change, so I go by my minutes.
That's-
Because that's printed every 2 years and it can change from year to
I
year.
see.
Yeah, so I,
And we did
Every
change some
year,
of that
you
too.
yeah,
So, yes.
so I'll just look in the minutes and let you know before the meeting's.
And you have to do with health work, because I know I won't be here for that, so.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Yes, I thought I told you the last meeting. Yeah, he's on his way now. He's almost by Tennessee. He left Colorado Springs 2 days ago. And his wife is expecting the 20th of November. He's driving a van with the 7 kids. And he's driving a pickup with, well, he takes 1. They're expecting their 8th.
Moving to Carolina
Moving to South Carolina.
for a job. probably.
Yeah, he's in the Air Force. And he's going to school there to
Yes, you
become
are.
a chaplain.
You are the
Gotcha.
backup, okay. And
So,
Give
what
me-
date is that?
That's the 22nd at 8:30. You'll go through grounds, airport, then all the parks.
I used to be on.
Yep.
Okay, then.
Yep.
Nothing, what do you have anything?
That's what that is.
Well, I've got the planning commission. We met on the 3rd. That's an odd date, but that had to be changed because of an error in a notice on a special use. And the special uses was kind of interesting. There were 2 people who wanted to build houses, but both properties were in commercial
Business.
district. It's right when you get to the Millersburg curve out there,
Selkie, Witzett's
next to
daughter.
the excavation between the Eagles Club and the excavator. Well, the excavator was there and then his neighbor, which was next to the Eagles. And,
Doug Corey.
you know, the concern is if you have residential, that the next to a business, there could be a conflict.
Yeah.
And I was teasing the guy that, you know, it's his business. So if he makes a mess of his property, who's he gonna call?
Yeah.
Well, that works
But
as long as he owns it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but really interesting because what's needed is housing.
Mhm.
So they got the approval, you had to get the special use to have residential and commercial in our county ordinance, so both of them were approved. But it just points out, people really
Are
are
concerned,
desperate.
they're
for
concerned,
getting,
yes.
Houses built.
Yep.
And the other one was, you know, the parents were living there. And the parents are older and the family's gonna help out, and so it all made sense, but it had to go through this process, so fine. The other thing that happened at the planning commission meeting is Mrs. Kroll that was here. Talking about the short-term
Yep, yep.
rentals. That referral went to the planning commission. And Jane was there still pushing it, and explaining what the issues were. And they received, you know, the referral from this board. So the chairman appointed a committee to look at that matter and draft up some ordinance and bring it back to the planning commission and ultimately back here. So that's not gonna happen tomorrow, but the wheels are in motion. The other thing is, special committee I have is NEMCOG, and their annual meeting is tomorrow in Lewiston. At Garland Golf Club, but you had to reserve before this. I think John's going and I'm going. So we'll see. Talked about having some speakers from Lansing,
Mhm.
so we'll see if that happens. And I would hope the food is good.
Yeah, well. It's a long way to drive for lunch.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the speakers are good too.
Okay.
So the Selkie issues resolved, they had the hearing and they were approved, their
The-
special
The
use.
staffing issues,
Selkie.
Tricia Selkie,
The
what was the
special use-
issue?
we're
the
talking
special
about
use
special
permit,
use.
that's all settled. That was the second hearing.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
they all got approved. I'm
So it's
sorry.
all
I wasn't,
gotcha.
yeah, there were more than a couple little calls.
Well, they called me several times.
Yeah, well, the problem is that the error, and I didn't know what it was, but I found out at the meeting. It was an honest error, but it was a dumb error. The address put into the paper was the residence address instead of being the address of the property.
Oh, so we typed up.
They haven't built the house yet. So put it out in the paper so people know where that construction is gonna be, and it had to be renoticed. And there's no way around it under law, and the notice period was 2 weeks, and so they were going nuts, because
Picked up the mistake.
who make,
Who realized the mistake?
well.
Was it Kathy at the zoning?
Kathy
Zoning
put the
zone.
notice out, and it
Yep.
was checked by both staff
Yep.
people, and nobody noticed
Still
it,
went through.
Oh, okay.
okay? So,
Right.
and who found it, I can't tell you.
Must
But
be-
I do know that all three of them in the office looked at it and it's, you know, I understand, it's
Yeah.
an understandable mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why it had to be renoticed. And of course, they were hopping mad. Well, because they're working against the season and they're trying to
Yeah.
get some stuff done before it freezes.
Yeah.
I wanted
well,
to get the basement done.
So I took the calls and I talked to them and stuff like that, but you know, the law is the law is the law. You just
Right.
can't mess around with that.
I gave him your phone number. It was your district. Did they ever call you? No. Oh, well,
So
it's resolved.
it's delayed, but it is settled now, so.
Road Commission meeting. Caleb Beatty put in his 2-week notice on September 19th.
Oh, Kenny?
Ken Beatty?
Thought it was Caleb.
No,
Yeah,
Kenny.
it is Caleb.
Caleb?
Caleb Beatty. Possible replacement is Nicholas Clave. He's currently working for Elkhorn County Road Commission, but he's moving to Belknap. Good referral from Jesse Campbell. And the way Dave was talking, they were gonna hire him. They did over $1 million for the state this year,
Oh, yeah, they were busy.
the DOT.
Yep.
Behringer Township had a private donation to the county for Permazyme and the portion of Bluff Highway. For the cost share.
Well, they have
Oh,
to
so-
go through us to
Yeah,
Did they bring it to your attention?
it has to go through the county.
Yeah, somehow they can't just take the money and, so it has to come through.
Well, yeah, the money is in our coffers here, Nick, right? But don't, we're the
We collect
fiduciary
the
for,
tax, then we just pay it out when they
Yeah.
draw.
right,
Well, Dave looked it up. It has to go through
Oh,
us.
okay.
yeah.
No, no one reached out to me unless they did the treasurer numbers.
I'm sure he'll be calling.
That's not wrong.
Well, it might be the treasurer.
Yeah, they might have contacted them.
638 US 23 park and ride is finished.
Looks nice too.
Looks good, yeah.
Yes, it
Real
does.
fast. They even striped it, which
Yep.
surprised me.
Yep.
Looks good.
Lake Netty is finished except for the stripping. The striping, excuse me. Vegan Fuel-X is working all good too in the shop.
The new mechanic,
Yeah. I had a chance to meet him when they had their lunch in there. Seems like a good kid. Roy Tedeschi finished the first 500 or 50,000 tons of gravel.
oh, okay, it's crushed some gravel for the county.
And they paid the royalties to police. Airport highway curbs are done and it's ready for paving.
How are they paying that? Didn't he buy the pit?
Roy bought it.
But
I
but
don't know
we
how-
still must have the royalties then.
He must be
He
getting,
must have a-
he must be getting something. I don't know how it's structured,
Maybe
whether
it's
it's
the land. fund.
land contract.
Okay. Okay.
They paid out 417,000 in bills last month.
Ooh, that's a
That
big
last
month.
meeting. They did Wenzel, apparently they've been taking overlays and seal coating over them. In the state, I guess 75% of the roads are done that way.
Yeah,
And they did Wenzel Highway that way as a test after they paved it.
the whole Wenzel Highway? From Clee to
That's what he said.
No,
four fifty-one?
no, it was only a portion.
The
That's
stuff
Okay.
they paved there.
Okay,
Uh,
go to that middle strip,
what else?
yeah.
So, and they talked about a lot of stuff. I tried to jot down everything.
Well, it was a 5-year plan that they approved.
The 5-year, yeah, the 5-year plan they went through. Work plan, tentative work plan.
Yeah, their future overlook.
It always seems to change. I got a copy of it here. We move some stuff around.
Well, they give that and then they got something to look for, but if something comes up where they gotta
Well,
change it a little bit, then
They had to move it around because
yeah.
Zakshesky was there and told them that, is 1 mile on Pulaski Road.
They had it pegged for 200 mile. I drove it the other day. And
Yeah. A mile
So they,
So
were
they-
able to move another project up then.
up to 2028 from 2029. And that's about it.
Anybody else?
I did my recycling, I'm gonna pass this around. The worst spot in our county was Rogers City Transfer Station. These people, look at, if they were just, and the dumpster next to it was almost as bad. They stuff the boxes in the back of the dumpsters or in the front of the dumpsters and just leave it like that. They
That-
take and break it down,
That was up here?
that's up here, yesterday. I took that picture yesterday. And
You
then.
know, I don't know what happened.
1 hour later, they come and dump the dumpsters. They were all packed full and they cleaned, the truck driver cleaned the whole grounds.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to these dumpsters, but. When you guys got the new dumpsters?
Those green ones with the full cover are a pain in the butt.
No, I'm talking
They
about
are.
these. The plastic lids, when they were placed, like when we put them at Alice. I got locks for them and I put locks on them, so you couldn't open them.
4 of those dumpsters are completely locked.
But they're
The
all.
rest of them are all,
even-
no locks
even
and the
one-
back ends are
well,
open.
Even the one else, they're all trashed. I mean,
Yeah.
they're ripped
Yeah.
open and. If they would have made them instead of plastic out of steel.
Yeah,
So. now
But then you wouldn't be able to lift
got
them
the
though.
names
That's the
of
whole
people,
problem.
and they're
With those
gonna set
big
up a
plastic
meeting.
green ones, you can't lift that a full cover.
Yeah,
But you wouldn't have to lift it though. The machine lifts it.
Right.
You know? All you have to do is unlock it and the door will swing.
Yep.
I mean, next time when you
But-
replace them.
But they're not opening that dumpster. Instead of opening, they're just
Technically, we
stuffing it.
don't know
we don't own, them, we just,
Oh, we're leasing them.
we lease them, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of our
We
bill,
can- Sure should ask them to.
I should talk to Chris about that.
but I drove Tuesday to Alpena and Craco was perfectly clean. I come back, Case Township was perfectly clean, so I didn't check Presque. And I didn't check Alice.
North Alice, I drove by that, that was clean.
Yeah, so the problem is here. So I don't know what the problem is.
She's the one used the most. And
Yeah, everybody comes from Malkin all over to put
Oh, I
their stuff here.
used it.
Yeah,
I come to town, I use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
So-
do.
but I think we're gonna have to set up some kind of an educational,
Well, I
Thanks.
was just gonna say, that's part of this program.
yes, we gotta set it up so people
Right,
know how to
and once we
and
get
what to
the
and
work
what
plan
not.
approved,
Yeah.
we can get money for that.
People know not to do that, that you
They
can
do.
educate all day long.
No,
that
We're,
We've been educating them for 10 years.
Over 10 years.
You
yeah.
need to, there has to be a new system for.
I agree with Cliff that if they put steel doors on the back of those,
Yeah, then you could lock them, they wouldn't wear out.
and it should be easy, Moraine probably.
Oh, he
put them
could
up
make
for
them
'em.
easily to switch them out.
Yeah,
Yep.
so why don't you talk to Cliff?
Talk to Chris about that, yeah. 'Cause it is a problem, huge problem.
Anyone else? No, hearing none. Well, I went to the NEMSCA meeting. They asked for a waiver of their in-kind money, which is $6 million. They're asking the feds to waive 3 million of it. I guess they normally do that. It's either volunteering or donations or whatever. Since COVID, it's been a problem. I think it's been a problem before COVID even, but we had to remove a board member who never showed up, I guess. Once. We replaced her with another one who looks like could be really good.
What county was that? Don't know. Alpena.
No, not sure where the new one's from, and I'm not sure, no, it wasn't Alpena, either one of them. But I'm not sure which county it was, doesn't say here. They get, they're, I don't think they did it yet, but they couldn't get rid of their freezer from the food bank thing. It was a huge one, it was brand new, and got a grant to pay for it.
Oh,
I
they're
think
old,
they paid.
they're old one. They
No,
couldn't
this
get-
was a brand new one, almost new, a couple of years old. They got a grant to pay for it. I think it was $35,000.
Oh,
And so they're trying to get 10. And it was really big. There's the guy that owns
Oh,
Yeah,
big.
walk-in, hey?
Twin Lakes. Yeah, right, yeah.
Walk-in
he
freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'd be interested in that.
Who?
I'd be interested.
I
I need one.
It might be too late now because they decided to donate it to the Crawford County Council on Aging. They said they could
Hmm.
use it.
Oh,
So
wow, that's good. stuff.
being it was a grant thing, they, part of the family, so.
Yeah, I gotta find something, man. I got a commercial 2 doors.
That's not big enough.
Here's some pictures of, we see homelessness on TV, and it looks a lot different than it does in rural areas. The one in the middle is a storage container somebody's living in. One's a hut
Shipping.
made of sticks.
A shipping container?
Yeah, yeah. They are looking at purchasing a school from, I guess it's the Bay County ISD, Bay Aranac ISD in Standish.
Where we Head Start.
Yeah, they were looking, they were, part of it's fairly new, some of it dates to the 70s, but I guess it's pretty decent shape overall.
Cheaper than rent.
They were at, no, I don't. Problem with rent is they just seem to have a hard time keeping rent. Anyway, and especially now with the state getting into preschool ed, the younger grades are more demand for like some of the school classrooms, so they're worried about having space, so they're looking at they were asking $1 million, which doesn't make sense economically, because I think they're $120,000 a year plus utilities, but they think they'll get a deal on it, and anyway, they're gonna pursue it.
Their rent's only 20,000 a year.
Yeah, and then they paid utilities. too,
Utilities.
So probably another 10, but.
Huh.
or
If not more, yeah, probably more.
But,
That's a bargain compared to the,
yeah, it's a bargain compared to $1 million. I pointed
Yes.
that
oh,
out, but,
compared to what the hell.
you know, if you don't have a
Yeah,
place
Word
at
pays
all.
for
You know, peanut.
I could believe that.
The Iosco Community Foundation, hired a retired teacher to work as a career development coordinator in the Taos schools. And I guess you really got a lot of work done. For example, 165 juniors and seniors visited Colita, which is at the old air base, to learn about aviation industry and apprenticeship program. 35 students attended field trip to CMU. But got a lot of work done for that position. That there was a meeting. Gary Noah asked me to attend with Tony Ford, who's the treasurer for the
Yep.
Senior year.
Yep.
Joe was there, Joe Heffley, Gary, and Eric Nadolski. So they went over the numbers, and I guess the city had tentatively pledged a loan to them if they didn't have enough, if they didn't raise enough to get the job done. And then they asked if the EDC would also loan them, and they were talking like 35,000.
EDC doesn't have it.
Yeah. It's in that CDC part of them. So, which is still, I guess, hasn't been resolved. After, I think, at least 3 different attorneys looking at it. But it looks like they got the money, so neither one of us. Neither one will have
I
to,
think they got enough pledged,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is what I heard.
So,
It's just about, I
And
think
the
the
roof-
roof
Nail
itself
Roof
is
is
done.
on,
Yes, roof is on.
they just need to
Steel roof?
trim it.
No, they
No,
put
it's a
the membrane,
Oh, well.
Doyle put it on. 2.5 semi-loads of styrofoam they put up on top of that, though.
4-inch styrofoam.
4-inch
No kidding.
styrofoam. Yeah, 2.5 semi-loads. They had probably about half a semi-load left.
Must be a flat roof.
It is a
Yeah,
flat roof.
yeah.
Yep.
And then there was a meeting in the land bank. And we went over. The old Cash's bar thing, that guy bailed out of it and he actually sold the building. And so they had $60,000 from that project, so they could award it to some of the others, which are in the round 2.
I didn't think they could switch it.
They can.
It can be rediverted to
Yeah.
other projects that
In
were
round
already
2.
in the round.
Right, yeah. So they had
availability.
$60,000 and the
How much
3,
did Onaway get for the old,
I'm coming to that.
okay.
So anyway, 60,000, so Tom or Mrs. Gajewski was there from McLean Pharmacy. She's approved and they're the one farthest along with their project. The Roxanne Dean from Onaway Historical Society and Dave Dargis.
Dargis,
Dargis,
yep.
Gramble Center.
Gramble
Not
Center.
Dargis.
And Joe Heffley for the city.
From that.
And Joe was there for the city. But, so anyway, and Joe proposed after each made a pitch for some money. Joe proposed splitting it 3 ways, which we did, so they got 20. And
That's good.
the rest of them got 20. And Marie made a good argument for giving more to Onaway and none to Dave, Dargis. but
Who said he was gonna
She
do it
was
all
on
with private money, but we won't go there.
No,
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
For the historical society.
For
For the
the
Lovedale
Lovedale
building.
building.
Oh, Lovedale building.
And by the way, they raised $11,000 Saturday.
At this spaghetti dinner, that's pretty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of spaghetti.
A lot of noodles, eh?
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot of auction stuff. Yeah. One piece went for $1,100.
Ooh.
Metal sculpture. I guess that's pretty much it for that. Or no. That's enough information for that one. Again, the claims are, they're gonna try to get the roof done this year. But they've got, I think bids.
Yeah,
It's
well, we,
gonna be a lot
Onaway,
of money.
no, McLean's.
McLean.
Right here.
Oh,
Point
for them being present.
Yo, Dick.
Old Richard's
Richard Clothing, yeah.
Yeah, it needs a roof, all
Yeah,
right.
it does.
The reason they had to be present is the board had to approve the contract,
Mm.
contract. And the quotes, and they did that. Or they did that.
I don't think I really know. I don't,
Now with Rite Aid gone, that's all the more important.
yeah,
Yes.
that they have,
And it's
but they said
quarter
that
apartments.
2 in the back of the
In the upper
building
floor?
and 2 upstairs.
2 up and 2 back. Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah,
So, great.
so that's, yeah, good news. That's all I have. Commissioner comment,
Well, if you don't come Saturday to the Lumberman Jack Breakfast, you're gonna miss out. We've sold over 150 tickets
Correctly, eh? Wow.
at $10. And we put out all the silent auction stuff today. Thank you, John, for your contributions. Looks fabulous. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Wow.
Good.
So hopefully we'll make some money for the outdoor center, and money's going as a match to the grant application for
Yes.
that dock.
the time is 10.
9 o'clock to
One.
noon.
I thought it was 1. Okay,
No,
noon,
not
9
1.
till 1.
It's breakfast. It's
9
not
till
lunch.
1. Okay.
So Susan Radke made a nice display about the dock project, so people could see, where the money's going. And as you'll recall from last meeting, Anne Marie and I worked on getting updates into DNR staff so they would give us some more points. And I think we don't hear till November though.
Susan Radke that's running for Presque elected. board.
I know it was
Who's
some
on the town?
horror that last year's natural resource trust fund projects were not approved by the legislature until last month. So
Oh,
the
that's
fact
why
that
you got the
they
delay.
award the points and stuff in
Yeah.
November, it sits for
Yeah.
more than 6 months.
Wow.
Because they tie it unnecessarily to the state budget. So, that delay, you lose a whole construction year is what you do.
Yep.
But there's nothing to do about that.
No,
And prices don't
It's
go
probably
down.
tied there for a reason. DNR.
they do what they want.
DNR.
They do what
They do what they want.
Mhm. So, yeah, even the money comes out of a trust fund that can only be used for the purposes, for whatever reason, the legislature
It has to figure-
insists that it has to be part of the state budget.
Yeah.
And that's why it then goes through this
Well.
political crap.
So you can't blame the DNR.
No, it's not their fault. No, not at all. It's the legislature.
Yeah, I think want their fingers in it.
Question is, why is the legislators got their fingers?
Mm,
Well, we'll never find that out.
Well,
You're never gonna find that out.
Well, I know. it's DNR
But anyway-
Well, it's
bureaucracy, you
everybody
can't control.
protecting their bailiwick is what it is.
Right.
I got,
And
I don't have a lot
again,
of faith in the DNR.
the funds that we make off that will immediately be put into the bank waiting for that match, but there's also a pledge form by the display showing, what we're aiming for, that people can pledge.
Oh,
They don't have to
yeah.
pay up, they pledge, and if we get the grant, which I'm hoping that we do, then we would call their pledge in, but that allows people to
Sounds like you got a pretty good chance of getting that.
I think so, but you never
Yeah.
know.
You know,
It's a crapshoot.
pretty much. Yeah, I guess you're the only,
Government.
there is.
Oh, fast, man, get out of here. Few things. One, as to the NEMCOG MMMP board. I did reach out to Nico. I reached out again. We finally collaborated yesterday. And so we are setting up. I asked him for the dates that he's absolutely not available so that I can coordinate this meeting in a short fashion. He did relay that, yes, it's due by the November 4th, but he expects a reprieve from that because they were waiting for the templates that they have yet to provide to
Yeah.
Right,
everybody.
exactly.
So, you know,
Right.
while we are pushing it forward,
Well, that's why NEMCOG goes going nuts about the contract, because they have yet to get the guidelines from the agency saying what has to be in the plan. And yet you have to have a work plan.
I've been working on this since before 2020 with them. I mean, just at a standstill, watching, waiting to pounce, but every time it's like, nope, and I get
Yeah.
COVID, but
it's
you know,
been pushed back,
they had all that time to plan. I
Yeah.
think. So anyways, that would go, he questioned about, you know, I gave him all the names. And at the time, of course, I had sent it right after the meeting. I didn't have the name from the city. And he said, was it a person or was it a representative? And so I sent that back saying, well, at the time it was representative, but we've since gotten the name. I don't know if we'll have to come back and redo the one for the city of Rochester City, specifically naming Mr. Heffley. If we do, we do. I
Yeah.
don't have that answer.
Yeah.
It was a non-required position anyway,
Right,
so I
right,
don't
right.
see why, but we'll follow if they request it.
Mhm.
Number two is, my staff, I was gone last week and, but we got our programming Monday and my staff and I were busy programming the elections, getting the materials tested. For anybody to understand why it takes so long, it's roughly about an hour per precinct and I have 25 to do.
Hmm.
So how do you do that in an 8-hour day?
That's right.
You do it because you have staff doing this 7 bags on this one and this other one, you know, as they go, but that includes, that's from very start when I get the stuff to where they finish before it's handed out to the locals. So, you know, it does take a lot of work. There are a lot of checks and balances that have to happen before we just turn this stuff over, but it's done. The
Yeah,
clerks are picking it
Yeah.
up. They're pushing out their ballots that they got. So everybody should be on the bandwagon. We are getting a ton of, you know, people already coming to the office because unfortunately, people don't read closely where it says to return their mail and they want to bring it to us. We can't take it. Sometimes we have to, you know, we can't take absentee ballots in. But we give out applications all the time. Next is a project that I did back in 2008. We resurrected again where we send out letters to clients in the court system that still owe the courts, technically the courts, money. Could be in the form of unpaid fines that they were assessed or filing fees if the case was filed on their behalf by the prosecutor's office for like a support or paternity case. The defendant is ordered to pay it at the end. So we Jerry sent out, I don't even know how many letters. We have gotten inundated with calls, of course, not realizing how many calls we're gonna get, but they're getting those paid off finally. I mean, some of this stuff is out there 20 years.
Really?
How many dollars worth?
He has a whole chart, he's gonna chart it all. So it just started this week, so I don't have numbers yet, but the other day it was over $1,000 in one day.
Hmm.
And then other people made arrangements to pay X amount per month.
Great.
And I did that in 08, and at that time, the span of months I did it, at that time was almost $10,000, $12,000. And I said, this is stuff is owed to the courts. But, you know, it does take time to do all this work, and just finally we had the project and threw it back out there, so.
I'm surprised there ain't a time.
Good move.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, I mean, you owe it, it's
Yeah,
like.
it's a court order.
It's court order, you know, and that's the
No statute of
information
limitations
we
once you
have
get
to
hammered.
also relay to these individuals that call.
Yeah, but they can take forever to pay it though.
And that's,
Well,
that's the
that's
thing.
not-
Well, I think
That's
that's
their
what Cliff
option.
is trying to say.
Yes,
They
You would
give you
have to-
$5 a month if they wanted.
But
You
$5
don't have
a
to-
month is better than zero.
that's right. They don't even pay.
Yeah, $5 a month is better
That's
than
right.
zero.
That's right.
You know,
We probably
especially,
got some on the books probably 30 years old.
I'm curious
You never
how
see
many
it.
dollars worth it is.
we'll have a report. Cause he's tracking it all. Every payment that comes in from those cases, he's tracking, he's got a thing that he'll start tracking it all. For instance, it's not just the courts, this could be restitution owed to a victim.
Mhm.
Right.
So the
That's right.
victims have the right to go after that person after the person's off probation, but many of them don't. Rarely ever do we have a victim go after
No, they're
The
just
defendant
glad to be done
in a
with it.
civil case to get their money.
Costs them more to get paid.
Well, they don't want, you know, they.
Yeah,
they
and
have-
leading a tournament.
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
by us doing this, we will, you know, I'm not saying I don't know how much restitution is gonna come
Possibly
in.
get their restitution too.
What's that?
or some of it. Some
Possibly
of
get them.
Yeah, but
restitution.
at some point, victims may
Yep.
know, and, you know, a lot of it too is we'll get letters back, because of course, people have moved, and, you know, that'll be tracking down later. I did all that, like I said, way back in 2008. And you know, hey,
Yeah, this is a
$12,000
long
is
time ago.
$12,000 at one shot.
15 years worth.
So anyways, that's the other, and the last thing finally is, in the opioid money world, there is a little paragraph that says there is a spot where we can spend some of the money unrestricted.
Hmm.
So we have to spend 85% on the restricted use of what they designate in the booklet.
So 15%.
So roughly 15%, but it's based on the overall amount we're gonna get from that particular, so I can't just add it all together and say 15%. It's, you know, if this one's giving us 12,000 and some, it's 50% of that. This one's giving us 75, it's 15% of that. So there's, and then it comes with reporting requirements. But I do plan on, for the future budget, taking some of that and
For the
spending it.
For administration.
No,
No, for hunting.
no, none of it's gonna be for my administration.
hundred
but
For department stuff.
It's gonna be for either the courts or the sheriff's department, who in the past have had to deal with the issue
Yes.
out there.
Yes.
You know, that's been my long standing, it's like, we're getting the money now for the problems that they already had with the individuals on the street and stuff like that, so. We will be able to use it besides just training and preventive, which of course we're still working on that goal, but you know, 18 years of collecting this money and not having all the resources to spend out, we don't want to give it back. But we had to spend our money to enforce the rules. So we will be able to use some to offset, whether it be the officer, you know, an officer going into hunt or hunt dues or prosecutor's office for, you know, I
Medical
don't know.
expenses.
Yeah, medical
Yeah.
expenses that we've had to pay out in the jail,
Right.
that's all good stuff
Right.
that we can show. But I just wanted to give you a heads up on that, I was wondering why I was like, this report, I'm not spending it, why, how can you report on spending something, it's restricted, and then she said, well, if you find this paragraph, you know, pages this many of a contract. That's where it says you can, so it's, you know, some little light that we can start spending that money in different ways,
At least spend it.
Dude,
yeah.
do you have a clean sheet of the people that, for the material management committee?
Mhm.
Can I get one of those?
Like I said, as soon as Nico too was going to give me some dates, I want to start getting everybody's timelines and I want to create a whole contact sheet. I do have the
It's in the
contact
minutes,
information.
isn't
I thought the DP, the Roger City was had someone from the
In the
DP.
minutes.
It's in a minute. Yeah, right.
Right, other than the name change. It was a discussion of who they want to appoint from the city and the decision. was-
Oh, yeah.
Which he's been taking classes and stuff on recycling, so in the long run, it may. you know,
Well,
be
he's
the
head
better.
of the DPW.
Who's head of the DPW?
The city
Oh, the
manager.
city manager.
They have a
Well, we
manager.
do- we
It's the
put
head
the-
of every
The
department.
manager is the head of every department.
Yeah,
So he's the boss. of
I
the
guess they're
DPW
gonna send them.
Guy.
Have to deal with.
Yeah, and they're gonna,
So.
they'll talk to whoever and they'll send whoever.
Right.
That's. The only other thing I want to bring up for suggestion. When John mentioned about, they had to replace somebody on a board. because the person wasn't attending, is board standards when these people are appointed, which is gonna be coming up here. A policy of, if you're a member of a committee appointed by the county and maybe you act in a certain way that's not in the best light for the county, I guess you can say, is there a way to remove that person, or what would?
We'd have to almost get
You know.
civil counsel.
Correct. I'm just saying, I want to bring
Yep.
this to attention to come up with a board policy, like, hey, when you're appointed, this is what you're expected to follow.
Right.
And I know other counties have it out there, so I'll work it.
Well, but one of the things that has to happen at the committee for the materials management is bylaws.
I'm not talking about just that. I'm talking about all the county
yeah.
boards.
Because we got some people
Yeah, so
that
we
don't
could.
show up and some raise havoc.
Mhm.
You'd have to
And
have a
I'm not
policy.
talking
then.
about
We
if
should
you have-
adopt a policy.
Policy, yeah.
You'd have to have a policy.
Appointments
book, I have a
policy.
policy.
If you get, yes,
It
Yep.
should-
You know,
and
if
probably
you miss
follow
X
the
amount of minutes.
policy,
Well,
the quorum and all that.
If you're convicted of a crime of a certain crime, those types of things.
yeah, that'd probably be good. It's a little bit different, but
Why
I
have you
forgot
had
to give you
trouble
this. This is
recently?
NEMCOG
What
just
committee?
adopted a new employee policy. So
Well, I need to know what.
you might want
I
to,
don't remember.
Borrow
what
that
committee
for
they are.
us.
I have to look it up.
What problem have we been having?
We just have an individual that's in trouble with the law, that it doesn't. It's not a good light to be in. We don't want it associated with.
right. That appointment isn't expiring. But it would have been nice to address the problem earlier. Because it does look bad, very bad.
What committee is it?
Have
I have to look it up. I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
so when a person is convicted of a crime, it's tough to have them on your board.
yep.
Okay, any correspondence?
No correspondence. The only thing I wanted, as way of correspondence, is I have these placards that I kind of gonna look at, maybe putting on the walls out here. They're a thicker. I don't think I have an example in here, styrofoam board, there's 11 boards. But here is the short version, and I put this up on mine, and it's related to the elections, and it just talks about voting.
Oh,
All the processes, it's, very easy boards to read, but I think it's good for individuals being in the building to see, the security of the elections. Answers about why this or how it does cross checks, all those kinds of things. So there's a few pamphlets out there that I've left. Or that I got extras. I have the examples here, and I am going to work with our maintenance about putting the boards up. I'm just worried about them getting
So
vandalized.
yep.
But I can't
vandalized or damaged until the roof gets fixed.
No,
No.
it actually would be on the first
Okay.
part, because when people come in here, it might draw their eyes, it would just be down this hall, just this little corridor.
Where do people go to vote when they come here?
They don't come vote here.
No, our city goes to City Hall now.
City Hall.
Yep.
Yeah,
We used to go to high school. All the precincts, but now they're all at City Hall.
but like I said, we do have a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Be nice to get that up in the high school civics class.
well, when I went and talked to them a
Right.
couple weeks ago, that's not what we talked about this stuff, but that's not the area they wanted to talk about more. So, and we had a short window of time,
Right, okay.
so
Too
anyways.
bad for the short time.
Yeah,
But it was great to go. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for your good work again.
okay, motion for payroll.
Support.
Motion support payroll, any discussion? Eileen?
Stop,
Yeah.
Clean,
Yes.
vitamin,
Yes.
Durga.
Yes,
Staley.
yes. Motion adjourned till October 25th, 9:30 AM, subject call chair.
What?
That's support.
I'll support that.
Okay, we have motion support to adjourn. All in favor,
Aye.
adjourn.
I know this guy.
Yeah, it's good.
And Mike, we're hanging out.
Yeah,
just
now-
what-
In what couple of minutes here, yep.